There are moments in history when God whispers and moments when he shouts. Some nights feel ordinary until you realize they carried the seed of destiny. Tonight, I want to tell you something urgent. There is a reason God told you to keep something ready. Friday, August 29, 2025, is not just another date on the calendar. It is a marker, and markers in God's time are never random. Young men, I'm speaking to you because I know what it feels like to wander, to feel like you're fighting battles you don't understand. You've been waiting for the world to give you a sign, waiting for clarity, waiting for something to break. But maybe what God is saying to you tonight is this: stop waiting for the sign, be the sign. Stop waiting for the world to change, start becoming the change. When God says keep this ready, it's not about fear, it's about preparation. It's about aligning your life with who he created you to be. Because you don't want to be caught unprepared when the door opens. The opportunities, the relationships, the calling, they only come alive when you are ready. And the truth is, the time is short. What you do now before that day comes will decide the man you will be on that day. Most men live as if time is their friend. They think there will always be another chance, another day, another tomorrow. They say, I'll get to it later. I'll fix myself when I'm older. I'll take God seriously when I'm ready. But let me tell you the truth. Time is not your friend. Time is a vapor. Time is a thief. And if you treat it casually, it will rob you of the very things you were created for. We don't like to think about it, but every day we're trading pieces of our life away. The question is, what are you trading them for? Are you trading them for another hour of scrolling, another night numbing yourself, another day chasing validation from people who don't even think about you when you're gone? Or are you trading them for growth, for discipline, for a life that actually matters? God has marked your days. That means every day you live, every sunrise you see, is not random. It's a gift, a divine assignment. The illusion of time is that you think you can waste it. But the truth, you can't. Every moment is being recorded. Every choice is a seed. And one day, maybe sooner than you think, you'll look back and realize the story of your life was written not in the big moments, but in the little choices you made every single day. Young men, you don't have forever to become the man you're meant to be. You don't have forever to heal that wound, to walk away from that toxic habit, to step into your calling. The window is smaller than you think. That's why God is saying, keep this ready. Because when the opportunity comes, when the breakthrough comes, when the door finally opens, if you're not prepared, you'll miss it. And worse, someone else will step into the place you were meant to stand. This is why urgency matters. It's not about panic, it's about focus. It's about deciding right here, right now, that you will no longer waste the days God has given you. You will no longer buy into the lie that you can put it off until tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. And the man who waits for the perfect moment never sees it. So hear me, the time is short, the clock is ticking. Don't sleep through your destiny. Wake up, start now, redeem the time, because God has something waiting for you, but only if you are ready when the moment arrives. Every man wants to be respected. Every man wants to feel that when he walks into a room, people notice not because he's loud, not because he's trying too hard, but because something about him speaks louder than words. But here's the truth. Respect isn't handed out. It isn't something you demand. Respect is the fruit of how you live when no one is watching. Let me say that again, respect begins in the unseen. You don't gain it by posting the right pictures, by trying to prove your worth, or by flexing for validation. You gain it by the way you discipline yourself in private, by the way you handle your struggles when no one is around to applaud, by the way you keep your word even when it costs you. And that's why so many men miss it. They chase the appearance of strength, but not the substance. They want the crown, but they don't want the cross. They want people to honor them, but they're not willing to build the kind of character that deserves honor. Respect comes from integrity, and integrity means wholeness. It means you are the same man in the dark as you are in the light. Young men, hear me. The world doesn't respect men who complain all the time. It doesn't respect men who live off excuses, who play the victim, who point the finger but never take responsibility. That may sound harsh, but it's real, and deep down you already know it, because the men you admire most, the ones you look up to, they're not perfect. But they're accountable, they're consistent, they take the hits and still move forward. That's the kind of man people respect. That's the kind of man women trust. That's the kind of man God uses. But it all starts with you making a decision. A decision to stop leaking energy trying to prove yourself to people, and instead start building the kind of life that speaks for itself. Respect doesn't shout. It echoes. It follows the man who knows who he is, who doesn't need to announce it. And when you live that way, when you carry that quiet weight of character, you don't have to chase respect. Respect comes to you. So ask yourself, what are you building in private? Who are you when no one's looking? Because that's the man the world will eventually see. And if you want honor, if you want respect, you must live in such a way that you would respect yourself first. One of the greatest mistakes men make today is believing that the validation of others will fill the emptiness inside. You see it everywhere, scrolling through social media, waiting for likes, checking if someone commented, hoping someone noticed. But the truth is, validation is a drug. It gives you a high for a moment, but the crash always comes. And every crash leaves you emptier than before. Here's the reality. The people you're trying to impress aren't thinking about you as much as you think. They're living their lives, battling their own struggles, worrying about their own image. So when you make your worth dependent on their approval, you put your entire identity on shaky ground. The second they withdraw that attention, you collapse. That's not strength, that's slavery. Strength isn't found in chasing applause. It's found in knowing who you are, even if no one claps. It's found in being able to stand alone, when every voice around you is silent, and still hold your head high because your worth isn't on trial. It's already established. But here's the catch. You can't fake this. You can't trick yourself into confidence by pretending you don't care. Real confidence, real self-respect, is built like a muscle. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, every time you choose discipline over distraction, every time you say no to what weakens you, you're reinforcing your identity. You're telling yourself, I can trust me. And when you trust yourself, you don't need validation. You become validation. And people feel that. A man who doesn't need constant reassurance is magnetic. He's grounded, he's steady. He's someone others can lean on because he doesn't lean on the shifting winds of opinion. That's the kind of man women want to follow, men want to respect, and the kind the world quietly takes notice of. So if you've been chasing validation, if you've been scrolling and comparing, if you've been letting the comments or the silence define you, it's time to stop. Not tomorrow, not next week, tonight. Look in the mirror and decide that your worth is not for sale. That your value doesn't rise or fall with the likes, the messages, or the praise of others. Discipline isn't glamorous. It doesn't get applause. Nobody's cheering for you when you wake up at 5 a.m. to hit the gym, when you turn off Netflix to read, when you say no to the easy escape of scrolling. But let me tell you this, the quiet, unseen moments of discipline are where real men are forged. The world doesn't see it, but you will feel it in your bones. Most men fail, not because they don't have dreams, but because they don't have discipline. Dreams are cheap. You can buy a vision board, write goals, talk about what you want to become. But discipline costs. Discipline demands. Discipline strips you down and asks, do you really want this, or are you just talking? And here's the brutal truth. Every time you give into distraction, every time you trade discipline for comfort, you're teaching yourself weakness. You're reinforcing a habit of quitting. That's why you feel stuck, why you feel lost, because you've been conditioning yourself to settle for less. But the opposite is also true. Every time you follow through, even in the smallest way, you're rewiring yourself for strength. Every time you push past the comfort and lean into the pain of growth, You're building the man inside who cannot be shaken. That's why discipline is freedom. You think it's restriction, but no discipline frees you from the chains of laziness, addiction, mediocrity. It frees you from living a life of regret. Think about it. Regret is the heaviest weight a man can carry. Not the pain of failing, not the pain of trying and falling short, but the pain of knowing you could have been more if you had just chosen discipline. That's the weight that breaks men in their old age, but discipline today prevents regret tomorrow, and don't wait until life forces you to learn this lesson. Don't wait until your health is wrecked, until your relationships collapse, until your opportunities are gone. Choose now, start small, keep your word to yourself in one area, build momentum, and before you know it, discipline won't feel like punishment anymore. It will feel like strength, like purpose, like freedom. Because here's the secret. Discipline is the fire that refines you. Without it, you'll drift. With it, you'll rise. And the man who chooses discipline today is the man the world will respect tomorrow. There's something powerful about the people you let into your life. The truth is, every person around you is either feeding your fire or draining it. And here's what most men don't realize. Your circle is shaping your destiny. You think you're just hanging out, but no, you're being molded, you're being influenced, you're being led. Look around at the men closest to you. Do they push you to grow, or do they pull you down into the same cycles you're trying to escape? Do they challenge you to be disciplined, to be honorable, to rise higher? Or do they encourage you to waste time, to complain, to settle for mediocrity? Because here's the hard truth. Your life will almost always rise or fall to the level of the company you keep. A man who surrounds himself with broken voices will stay broken. A man who surrounds himself with warriors will become one. It's not just about peer pressure, it's about spiritual alignment. Your environment is either watering your future or poisoning it. And yes, it's hard to walk away from people you've known for years. It's hard to be the one who steps out, who says, I can't live like this anymore. But if you want to step into the man God has called you to be, you've got to be ruthless about who gets access to your energy, your time, and your mind. Think about it. Iron sharpens iron, but iron can't sharpen wood. If the people around you aren't sharpening you, then they're dulling you. And some of you are trying to build a sharp, focused life while surrounding yourselves with people who keep you blunt, who keep you stuck, who keep you average. Brother, hear me on this. Loneliness for a season is better than being chained to the wrong circle for a lifetime. Sometimes God will clear people out of your life because he knows they cannot go where he's taking you. Don't fight to hold on to what he's trying to remove. Instead, trust that the right men, the right brothers, the right mentors will enter your path when you make space for them. So guard your circle. Choose men who call you higher. Surround yourself with voices that remind you of discipline, courage, and honor. Because in the end, your circle will either become your cage or your launch pad. When everything is said and done, it comes down to this. How are you living your life when no one is watching? Because that's where character is revealed. Not on the stage, not in the crowd, not in the moments when people are applauding you. No, true strength is measured in the quiet places, in the hidden decisions, in the private battles no one else ever sees. Every man has two versions of himself. There's the man he shows the world, and then there's the man who lives in secret. And the truth, it's the secret man who decides your destiny, because sooner or later the mask comes off, and what you've built in the dark will define who you are in the light. Maybe right now you're wrestling with things that nobody else knows. Shame, temptation, habits you keep telling yourself you'll quit someday. But let me tell you, someday doesn't come. What you choose today, that's the man you're becoming tomorrow. And listen, this isn't about perfection. God isn't looking for flawless men. He's looking for honest ones, men who are willing to face the truth of their own lives. Men who will say, I've been hiding, but I'm done living in the shadows. Men who will choose discipline over comfort, integrity over convenience, purpose over pleasure. Because here's the reality. The hidden choices always show themselves in the open. That secret compromise. It will eventually cost you, that private discipline. It will eventually elevate you. You cannot hide from the seeds you're planting in the dark. They will grow whether you like it or not. So if you want to be ready for the future, if you want to stand strong in a world that's crumbling, it starts here in the hidden life. Clean it up, guard it, build it. Make sure that when no one's looking, you're still the man you claim to be. And when you do, something shifts. You stop living double-minded. You stop carrying the weight of secrets. You begin to walk lighter, stronger, freer. And you discover that the greatest power doesn't come from what the world sees. It comes from the unseen, the choices you've made when only you and God were present. Brother, your hidden life is not a footnote. It's the foundation, and if you build it strong, nothing and no one will be able to shake you. Brothers, listen to me. This is not just another video you stumbled on. This was for you. You didn't hear this by accident. This was a message you needed tonight, because there are no coincidences when God is after your heart. I don't care how many times you've fallen. I don't care how many mistakes you've made. What matters is what you do now. Are you going to keep living halfway, hiding the real you, carrying the weight of shame and distraction? Or are you going to rise up, step into the man you were meant to be, and live with fire, with discipline, with purpose? The world is dark, but you don't have to be swallowed by it. You can be the one who shines, the one who refuses to be broken, the one who inspires others because you dared to be real. So I'm asking you, if this hit you, if something inside you is awake right now, don't let it slip away. Don't just click out and forget. Act on it. Let this message spread. Share it with someone who needs it. Comment your commitment below. Speak it out loud so it becomes real. And if you haven't already, subscribe. Not because of me, but because we are building something here, a place where men can wake up, rise up, and refuse to live small. Like this video, comment your fight, share it with a brother who's struggling, subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Together, we can stand in the fire and not be consumed. This is your moment, don't let it pass.